Hi, how is everybody today? It's morning here. No, not too bad. It's not raining at least. Anyway, I want to do a little bit more of the crafting side rather than just the crochet. I'm going to be making a little polar bear. Now, in my intro video, I showed some craft bears that I've made. So I want to make one of those and bring you along to show you how to do it. They're all hand stitched, so there's no machine sewing on there, so you don't need a sewing machine. These are very user friendly, really. A lot of people don't own a sewing machine and would like to be able to do something like this, and it's easy. Once you know how to do it, it's quite easy to do. It's just knowing how to do it. Nobody teaches you. You're not brought up knowing how to make a little craft bear, so I'd like to show you how to do that. I'll start by telling you how to make this one lovely little bear. I'll bring in some of the bears that I've got. I'll just go and get those now. Hold on a moment. Okay, so these are the bears I made. This was the first one I made. I said in my intro video that this was from a kit from a lady in Russia before the invasion. I did this 5-6 years ago now, so maybe longer, maybe 10 years ago now. And I thoroughly enjoyed making him. He was so lovely, so easy to make once you know how to put them together, how to construct the pieces. So I'd like to share that with you. The little clothes are amazing. She's a very talented lady. All the clothes are, they're all lined, and these are all hand stitched, handmade by myself. The little sweatshirt under here with a little hoodie. It's so cute. I can't get it off. The fabric, the kit came with all the fabric, all the pattern. She's on Bearpile. I'll link Bearpile down below. Look at the little hoodie. The holes in it for his ears. It's amazing. It's so cute, and he's so well constructed. The ears, the head turns, the little ears on the top. I'll show you how to make the colouring on them, to do the noses and mouth. The little trousers even got little pockets in them. Look, you can put his hands in his pockets. How cute is that? And he stands up and everything. He's so amazing. And then from that, I went on, because enjoyed making him so much. I went and made this one. I'd taken inspiration from this bear. I used this same kind of style of pattern, but I rejigged it a bit. I suppose it's just a different version of the one she made, but this is like a little brown bear. All the clothes are, again, removable, all hand stitched. It's so cute, so lovely. I love his little brown head. And little trousers, and again I use the same pattern for the trousers, so you can put his little hands in his pockets. But this one, I think he looks like he's going to a wedding. I love him. The next one I made, I think it was this one. Now, a little girl bear. She's a little bit tatty because she's old. I made her so that she looks old and a bit worn. She's got stitching on her ears where she's been a bit, well loved. You say well loved. And she's got some stitching here. I've shaved the fur off with, to make it look like she's worn, and the nose is a little bit sparse where she's worn her nose out. They've been kissed and loved so much over the years. The stained dress that she's wearing, all stains on the back. I just did that with tea. And the little shoes, she's got little shoes on. If you can see those little shoes, and she stands up. The larger bears, they all stand up. See if I can stand her on my hand. No, she's not gonna balance. But yeah, she's like a little rough, well loved bear. The next one I made, I think I decided I wanted to make some smaller bears, little miniature ones. Take less time, but they're not. They don't take less time. They're more fiddly. And I think this was the next one I made. He's a little bear. He's made from mohair. I bought the mohair fabric. It's quite expensive to buy, but when you're only making a small bear, it doesn't take a lot of fabric, so it doesn't cost as much as you'd think. But he was very cute. He's all jointed as well. All the little joints here. He's got little claws on his hand. I love his ears. Where you position the ears gives them different character. His ears are quite low, so it gives him quite a cute little sweet looking face. But that's the sort of thing that you learn as you go along, where you position the ears. So her ears are on the top, his ears are on the side, and you can see they gives them a different facial expression, but almost. The next one I made, it was this little one. I call him Lucky. He's got a little 4-leaf clover. Just a little collar on, no clothes, just a little collar. But he's again all jointed and very, intricate little bear, tiny little eyes. And the last one I've made so far was this little chap. He's just more of a stubby legged little bear, short legs, and he's a very serious looking little bear. But it's very cute. He's got a little tie. His little tie comes off as well, and again all jointed. So I'd like to take you through how to make these, and we start off obviously with a pattern. Now you can buy patterns, you can get them free on the internet. This one is my own, just a little pattern I made. What I do, I print out, I draw it all out, and then I print it on a piece of paper just to check the dimensions and make sure everything's okay. And then I photocopy it onto card. I mean, you can just cut these pieces out and pin them onto the fabric when you want to cut them out. But you have to remember that you've got to do 4 of those. Depending, if you're not putting a paw on, if you're just doing a normal arm, like this one, then you do 4. But if you want to do an arm with paw pads, then there's a different pattern piece there's 2 pattern pieces for there. So, but you have to remember that you have to duplicate the pieces. Like, you'll need 2 heads. So when you're cutting out the pattern, you'll need to do that, pin that on, unpin it, and then pin it twice, put it on again. I don't advise you fold the fabric, because when you're cutting it can slip and you end up with a slightly distorted pattern. It's harder to sew it together if it's not perfectly straight. So what I like to do is I print it onto card. I print the pieces onto card, and then you can use it again. You can keep your pattern, put it in an envelope, and put a name on it or whatever you want to put on it, and then use it again. But when you want to use it, you draw around it onto your fabric, all the pieces you need, and then you just cut those pieces out. And you've got that pattern, then you can use it again and again if you want to use it on a different fabric. This one I'm going to be making a polar bear. I've not made a polar bear yet. I've made a brown bear, I've made a pink bear, made a blue. So I thought I'd make a polar bear. This is a type of fleece fabric, kind of a fleecy fabric. I find to start with it's easier to use a flat fabric rather than a fur fabric, because you can see your stitches, you can see what you're doing easier. The fibres don't get caught up. I'm going to show you how to start by using this fleecy type fabric, and just to start by drawing around your pieces, and obviously then just cutting around them. Cut on the line. All the patterns I use, I have the seam allowance, which is like about 2 to 3 millimeters in. You sew 2 to 3 millimeters in, and they all have the seam allowance on them. If you get a pattern, a free pattern, or you buy a pattern, check the seam allowance is included. Sometimes they don't include the seam allowance, so you have to allow, when you're drawing them on your fabric, you have to allow for a little bit extra and cut a little bit further away. It's quite annoying. Most do, but there's the odd 1 or 2 that don't have a seam allowance. But you just cut round your pieces, and there, just cut round. You don't have to worry about the black on the edge. It won't show once it's sewn because that will be, you'll have stitched it through that and that will be on the inside. So you won't see the black. So you can use marker pen or whatever pen you want to use to draw around it. But there, that's the beginning. So get your fabric, get your pattern, and when I've cut all this out, I'll come back and start stitching it together and show you how to start with hand sewing. Thank you for watching. See you again soon. Bye. Hello. I've just edited the video and realised I've forgotten to tell you a few important bits about transferring the pattern onto your fabric. It's quite important that if you look on the pattern, you can see there's marks here, little marks here. Those are to show you that you leave that part of the pattern open so that you can put your arm joins in, the little joints that help it to move. I forgot to mention, you transfer those onto your pattern. Like here, these marks here. Excuse my dog growling in the background. Yeah, you transfer the marks here onto your fabric. It's quite important that you do that so you know where to stitch to. You stitch from this round here up to there. Also, if I can now find them, yeah. When you're cutting out your pattern, before you cut your pattern out, you can decide if you want to do your pads, the bottom of the feet, and the paw pads, if you're doing paw pads, in a different fabric. I've cut the bottom of my pads out in black, and the paw pads, little hand pads, in black as well. But you can do them in the same fabric if you want. You don't have to change it, or you can, choose your fabric you want to do. It just gives the little pads and the feet a little extra detail if you wanted to do that. Also, when on your pattern pieces, you'll notice there's there'll be instructions like cut to opposite, and what that means, or reversed or mirrored or whatever, what that means is when you put it on, you don't want them all to go the same way, so you've just flip them over. When you're drawing it out onto your fabric, flip it over and draw one the other way round as well. All the instructions should be on your pattern anyway, but I'm just, just a little reminder of that. Okay, we'll talk about the rest of it soon. Okay, bye.